Hello everyone, and welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 209. Today is Saturday, December 12th, 2017, and I'm glad you could join me today. It appears that we have a neighbor using a saw of some sort, so there may be some interesting noises, but whatever, that's what I get for recording outside, is interesting ambience, ambient noises. I am recording later than usual, so I turned on a light, but yeah, like 5 o'clock on is now pretty dull, but you can tell by the t-shirt that the weather's still pretty nice in Texas right now. Oh well, such is life. Maybe it's a little bit too late for coffee, but I had that feeling that I needed more coffee. I've only had one knitting project going this week, so this is my Chevron Infinity Delight Cowl in the round. I'm using 3 colors of Madeline Tosh, so I think it's Leopardopera, Blue Nile, and I don't even remember what the green is. I don't even know if I have the card for the green either. I'm guessing not. Probably not. Whatever. Lepidoptera. Whatever. So, this screaming green color, which is pretty fun. So, the Lepidoptera is this magenta-y colorway, and it is, actually pashmina, and then the other two are 80-10-10 sport. So I just have random crap attached. So the red is coming out like way blued, but not too much I can do about that. Drop. So these are combining in my bajillion-y stripe pattern in a way to maximize yarn usage. I guess I don't have too much control of what would it be, because it is such a long pattern repeat. I may not be able to totally maximize yarn usage, because if I don't have enough to complete the full pattern repeat, then I'm gonna have to stop. So I realized that I had started off in the green and I was supposed to switch to the magenta, so I actually backed up a little bit on this guy. I haven't quite made it through a full, so last week I had gone through a full pattern repeat. This week I'm closer to only just halfway through. So there doesn't appear to have been a lot of knitting this week. No work done on the socks. It might be nice to get them off my plate. They have been riding around with me in my bag, but apparently too deep in for me to remember to grab them. So it does look right now like my cowl project is more of a hat. And I could see how it would be like a fun hat pattern, or what is it? I just am really, there's a bit of chaos there, but this is actually, could be, if I was knitting a hat, I would be done. Well past done, but like, that's pretty cute. What would it be? So this could be done in the style of like a long, or like a skinny cowl instead of a very big giant long one. But as you can tell by my yarn usage, there's still quite a lot. So this starts to look like a normal cowl size, but obviously I need to sew it on, so we're not close. So that's good, because we're not close on the yarn either. But yeah, no, it hasn't been super duper knitting productive. And I don't know if you guys saw, what would it be? This is driving me a little bit crazy, so I'm going to resize a little bit. There we go. I try to make my little window smaller, but for some reason it scales awkwardly. I don't know why. I don't know. It just hasn't been a lot of knitting time. Such is life. What was it? It isn't like it's a good in the dark project, so that might be a reason why something would get worked on. Oh well, such is life. So I think I'll talk about spinning next. So I delayed in recording today so that I could finish off my singles. So this is my Nest BFL in the Emerald Pools colorway, and it's very interesting actually how mellow this has turned out and also how brown this has turned out. So focus, maybe, there we go. So it's very subtle. So it'd be the case where most of the strand has elements of the brown, the tan, the gray, and the teal in it, which is interesting. So it'll be fun to figure out what the yardage is. It looks like I am in the ballpark of where I want it to be, but we'll see. Maybe this is closer to sport than fingering, but I'm not 100% sure. And would it be just the really cool texture that you end up getting with a cable yarn. So this was divided up as a 1, 2, 4, 8 fractal, and then spun the whole thing as a long single and then just started plying back on itself. So it was, what would it be? It was really nice as a 2-ply too, but obviously pretty thin. So we'll see what sort of yardage I get. It didn't seem to be super duper springy and crazy, which I guess makes sense because it is BFL. And it's also interesting how in this light there's almost like a red element to this, so I find that to be interesting as well. For some reason, I guess I was just expecting the yarn to turn out to be more teal, and that doesn't seem to be the dominant effect that I got with the finished thing. So, interesting. And so whatever. So finish that on the 2nd of December. I have 2 more ounces to spin for my bin, but I'm like in procrastination mode. Because I want to, what is it? My last bin fiber is some of my dark gray, which I've dyed fleece, which I've been making into balls of top, but I want to mix my balls of top, which means I buy a hackle, and there wasn't necessarily like a hackle on sale on Black Friday, so I haven't ordered one yet. I should just get it over with. But at this point now, like, I just need to like hurry up and spin something because like we're reaching whatever it be. I have to do that 2 ounces I said I was gonna do. So, well, I'll have to figure something out. I found something that I think was reasonable on the Woolery. I was sort of intrigued by one of them, but it was like, I don't know, $100 more expensive, and it's not crazy to make that yourself. So it was the case where the Modulcraft one had a wooden piece that you could slip over your double row hackle so that you wouldn't have nails sticking up, which is a really great idea, and it's something that we can easily do here. So we have plenty of 2x4s, and we can use the mill and cut out a slot, no problem. That's what mills are made for. So it's not too crazy to think to do that modification with materials and tools that we have on hand already. The other spin for December that I want to do is the CTA salve for this quarter. And so I forgot to bring this out last week, but obviously it wasn't a big deal because I haven't yet started to spin. But I'm planning on doing a 3-ply 2 ways with a traditional 3-ply and a chain ply. So the bottom bit will be the chain ply, and then I have my 1-2-4 fractal set up for the other one. It wasn't really possible to do like a more 3-ply style fractal splitting with this guy. It was just too thin. Because I split it in half long ways to do the 2-ply 3 ways. So then that resulted in pretty small pieces when I started breaking up that. So this should be a lot of fun. I'm curious about what's going to happen with this one. It'd be the case where, also just the case where the sorts of colors that come out in it is sort of a very gray-blue, a cool red, and then this like orangey yellow, and then it's sort of like shot through with streaks of the bamboo. So, excuse me, this is a Targhee bamboo silk blend. So the bamboo didn't take dye in the same way, so that probably results in sort of a more pastel tint to everything. So might end up starting that tonight, we'll see. Don't know which end I'm gonna start with. I definitely have plenty of bobbins right now to make that work out. We'll see. It could be the case where I just need to hurry up and get that stupid hackle. I think the other problem is that it may be that they have to order it, so it'd have to be Woolery I would buy from the Woolery. The Woolery would order it from the person, and then it would get sent to me. I'm not sure. Mysteries of the universe. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was something, what was it? So the Fat Squirrel has hosted a cal called Knits in the Crypts, which is taking something you're not wearing and fixing it because there is something wrong with it. And she was doing this for the month of November, but it's not, I didn't get around to it. Other things were going on, but this is the one I need to fix, so you can maybe, I don't know, this is pretty dark. So this is my mold cider, which is a Thea Coleman pattern. And then it has this cool leaf detail on the back, and then it has this cool leaf detail on the front. And apparently I very much so enjoyed knitting the leaf detail on the one front panel and got bored knitting the plain one on the other, and they turned out to be different lengths. So I eased it in seaming, and I somehow made something fit together. But like one side is longer. My left front panel is longer than my right front panel. And I really doubled down on this one quite a lot. I was hoping it would block out. It didn't. And it's super hard to count the rows in this yarn because it is so dark. So, like, I have, like, all of the ends of it. Can you see? I have, like, all of the ends sticking out of this and the whole bit. It's just chaos going on over here. I have my, and I'll just have to take so much stuff off. Well, maybe not too much, but a decent amount. So it'd be the case where I have my collar needs to, my whole entire collar needs to come off. I sewed that down. I'm gonna have to take out the sleeves. I'm going to have to unseam to someplace probably past the armpits, I'm assuming. And maybe, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to go about making this work. And then I have to take this panel here and knock it back. And I probably need to also figure out how much I'm knocking it back by, but I started this is the bit that's too long. So, probably, I don't know, probably a good, I'm not sure, I need to sit down and figure out how much different my pieces are. So it may mean unseaming the whole stupid thing. Maybe I can keep, like, this arm seamed up, but not, I have to take it out there. So this is out of my, my first fleece. So this is, was mostly spun on a spindle, and was intended to be whatever, my Rhinebeck sweater, obviously, because it was just sort of broken and, like, I haven't been super motivated to finish it, or to fix it. So in that regard, the cowl was a good motivation, because it was like, I need to do something about this one. But obviously, like, it's just annoying that you have to undo all of the finishing because it was in pieces, and the irritation with not having the pieces be quite right, and the whole bit. So some of it I can probably just leave, and it's going to be a bit of a bear to unravel as well, because I was alternating skeins and then sort of selecting skeins of alternating based on the tone of the yarn. So I would alternate with a light skein and a dark skein, and then as I went through on the sweater project, it became whatever, different. And then if I am taking it all apart, maybe it makes sense to actually do, I don't know, this is a little bit scary for me, but I'm wondering about whether or not I should do a lining on it, because the feel of the sweater isn't super duper. It's a Shetland, and it was the full down and long stuff sort of thing. So the down made it soft, the long stuff, makes it strong, but it doesn't feel super duper. So that's also a consideration, is am I willing to sit down and figure out what sewing modifications I need to do, or in order to, say, for example, make some sort of lining on this so that I'd be more likely to wear it. So that's sort of, what would it be? I pulled it out. I was going to bring it to knit night, but knit night didn't happen, so the Dear Sweet Love won, and I ended up going out on a date night instead, which was fun. But I was going to talk it over with them and figure out what I needed to do, and maybe have a little bit of moral support for ripping it out. I have ripped out sweaters that I haven't loved before. I still believe that the fundamental idea of this sweater is sound. It's just like I screwed up a bit in the execution of it, and I want it to be more perfect than that. It's a little bit too broken. So I have to respect the process a little bit more with this one. So it's just a little bit crazy making, because it's like, like, Yeah, because, what would it be? Like, this collar definitely has elements that are attached to the other thing, and I really don't want to rip it out. Maybe I can find a different way of dealing with it, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it's just crazy making. I do have some extra yarn, so that shouldn't be a big deal. And honestly, because I'm shortening things, I will have more extra yarn than before. And I definitely know, or I'm pretty sure I know where the extra length is lurking, but I might just have to unseam the whole stupid thing and go from there. And the problem is that you can just sort of zhuzh and press, which is sort of what I was doing when I was knitting with it. Like, is it long enough? Yeah, it's fine. I don't know. So I may need to completely take it apart in order to fix it, which is like, So, we shall see. It'd be the case where, what would it be? When I had the original idea for this project, I was, what would it be? Like, this is stuff that if you go through, like, the back episodes, like, what would it be? Like, this project is almost as old as the podcast itself, so. What would it be? It just took a while to get everything rolling on it. Oh well. So that's sort of where I am right now, is like, it needs to be right, and I can't really tell whether or not the cal is still going on. It might not be going on anymore. So in that regard, like because I have talked a bit about what I'm going to do and posted about what I was going to do and sort of coming up with my plan, but then, what would it be? November was, what would it be? A rough month for me, so it would be the case where you're like, okay, November wasn't good, but December will hopefully be a little bit better. So, we'll figure something out, but I need to talk to you guys about it for, like, the accountability factor. True. So, it wasn't here. The last thing was a little bit of finish stuff. So I have, like, 23 yards of the Romney fleece. So what I did with this was pretty much the night I got back from Rhinebeck, I pulled out my combs and combed a ball of top to check out the fleece. Was really happy with the little ball of top I produced. I then spun it in the grease on my Bosworth and then plied it back on itself on my Bosworth as well. And so then I had my little greasy skein, and I threw it in some Mullican wool wash, and it turned out really, really nice. I'm really impressed with the hand I got. I'm impressed with how clean it was just after the silly wool wash. Like, it doesn't feel greasy or gross at all anymore, and it really cleaned up quite a lot. So, trying to hold things appropriately for you guys. So, focus, maybe. So that's how it ended up turning out. I'm so happy with the hand of this. It's really nice. The last time I spun Romney, I really screwed it up pretty badly. So I'm really happy with what I created here. So that was really cool. And this one is the proper skein length and that sort of thing. But really, really nice hand overall. So it should be exciting when I do get around to that fleece to getting to work with it, because I'm impressed with what I created. So much nicer yarn than, say, my Shetland, for example. Oh, silliness. Whatever, it's a case where you learn and grow and you figure things out, so it's not too crazy. Or would it be? It wouldn't be interesting if you weren't, like, learning something new and figuring something out. So I think that's sort of what the game plan is right now. And obviously it was probably a little too late to record outside, but oh well, we have like mood lighting or something. It's just crazy making, or what would it be? So obviously we have mild weather, but we don't have sunshine, so that's I think the rough thing about living in Texas, is you're like, it's lovely out, but we don't have like as much sun time, or maybe that's why it's not so hot, is that there isn't as much sun time. Oh, I should be able to record the next few weeks. Would it be sort of putting down all of my, or figuring out all of my different holiday plans and that sort of thing. Would it be so various visits or visiting or that sort of thing. So we'll see about if things get strange with respect to would it be the last few weeks of the year? We'll see. Because I would like to do like a retrospective of what would it be? The stuff I've done this year, because I always find that to be interesting, but that could be also a part of the Stash Flash experience. We'll see. It is getting close to that time, though, of going through and figuring out everything, so I guess I have a month, but would it be? There have been some great stashing opportunities this year. Oh well. So, with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talk guys next week. So, take care guys. Bye-bye.